Back to our computer. Voila! Hey guys, good morning. If you're catching us live this morning, say hi, let us know where you're watching from. And if you're catching the replay, hit me with the hashtag replay. Good morning, guys. Happy Saturday. I am so freaking excited this morning. Shelly, I have my friend Shelly on here introduced to you guys today. We met through the company that we're with. I have been in love with Shelly since the first time
Aw.
we ever met. She has the best personality. And she's so quiet and bubbly. And literally, she's such an inspiration to so many people, y'all. And I want you guys to hear her story. I posted her update pictures the other day. It's not too far down on my timeline. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. She's killing her weight loss game. She's rocking her online business, guys. And she kills TikTok videos. I love your videos. And if you follow her, like she's literally just a lot in your day. So I want to shed some more light on her today. I want you guys to hear her story. So, Shelly, tell us what brought you to these products that we use and this opportunity that we have.
First of all, I love you. I'm not gonna lie. There's like some people that will ask me to come and interview and stuff like that, and I get all nervous and stuff like that. But I was so excited when you asked me because I'm just like, girl, we get to just girl talk. I love this. I'm gonna feel really comfortable, so that's gonna make it even more better. More better. Um, but the truth is that I was just really, really got to a point in my life that I was just very, very unhealthy and unhappy. I have a son that has an autoimmune deficiency. So we were going to, which is the Children's Medical Hospital down here, Shands all the time. And I'm going because he has an autoimmune disorder. We're seeing nutritionists all the time, all the time, all the time. And, they're talking to you and they're sitting there saying, what you could do and what you can't do and how strict his diet is and all this stuff. And I'm in tears because I'm like 325 pounds here. I'm 4'10", so I'm short. I'm a little girl, so I don't carry my weight well either. So it's one of those things that it was so overwhelming. Not only that, because I was such in a dark place myself, because I have PCOS. I have I'm got because you have PCOS, they always put you on metformin. So you don't know if you're really diabetic or not because you're already on a diabetic medicine, but with your weight, I have diabetics in my family, both spectrums, the ones that gain it because of their weight and the ones that do it because they're too, so I got both of those. I have we have thyroid issues, we have Hashimoto's, we have all of this in my family. So it's one of those things that just piles on you. I'm just a big girl. This is what I'm going to be. This is how it is. This is my life is. And the truth is, that's where it was just, you go and you're talking to these nutritionists, you're talking to these diets, and you're doing all this stuff. And you're just like, I can't do this. I can't. I'm 47 now. I've been on the products for 3 years, really hardcore for the last 2 years. But it's one of those things that that I've done Jenny Craig, I've done Weight Watchers, I've done keto, I've done the potato diet, the cabbage diet, the rice diet, the personal trainer. I've done all that. And the one that I lost all my weight on, that years ago, was the medical induced one, the one that you go in and they got to hook you up to an EK machine and you're like sitting there and all that stuff, and they're giving you a Fredrin. They're literally giving you a Fredrin that's not even good for your body. Boy, did I lose that weight, and did I lose that weight fast. But I remembered those B12 shots. Those B12 shots were amazing. They made me feel good. They made me feel, and I really remember going to the doctor and on those veteran pills and saying, you know what? I crave those pills. I crave those, and that's not good. When you have an addiction, in your family, in your personality. I'm addicted to food. So when you're sitting there and you're looking at that, you're like, doctor, is this really healthy for me? Is this really good for me and my body? And then when I sit there and I addressed it like that, of course, they're going to pull you off of it. And I gained that weight back. Plus, that's when I got to the biggest weight that I've ever been. Because when I went on there, I was probably 180 pounds, but I wanted to lose the weight. So I lost the weight. And I did get down to 135. But when I gained it back, it came back fierce and it came back hard. And that's when I ballooned up to 325 pounds. So it was one of those things that I got. If you know me at all, my personality is over the top. I'm over the top personality. And when I get to where I'm sitting inside and I don't want to go out and I don't want to do anything, it changes you. It changes. I'm going to cry because that's how bad it was. I have two sons, one that is 25 and then one that is 10. So I have a big age gap. And when I start seeing, and my oldest would come to me and he'd say, Mama, you've got to be able to do this for Parker. You got to be, because I was an amazing mom I'm an amazing mom anyway, but I wasn't the same mom. I wasn't giving my youngest the same energy and the same, just spirit for life that I gave my oldest son. And when my oldest son addressed that and made it, just something that he brought to my attention, made me think even more, because Parker's sick. Parker, when he was younger and they're coming at you, you're really thinking, what kind of life is he, now he's thriving and he's doing good. But there were some questionable years when we were hooked up to some dialysis machines and stuff like that was just really questionable, that you just think, am I not even being the spunky happy mom that I needed to be for him? With that all aside, I don't want to go down that too much, but it is one of those things that make you think. And so I went to the nutritionist and I was on my way back and I was crying and I was just scrolling through Facebook. And I seen an ad that said, in order to see the change, you have to be the change. That ad hit me like, it's the truth, because I'm the one who has to make the first step. I'm the one who has to get off of everybody else's bandwagon and jump on my own bandwagon and say, hey, Shelly, you know what? You got to put yourself first in order to make for sure you're there for everybody else. And that moment changed my life. It changed my life for everything. It was one of those things that I met this woman that I order my supplements from, and she's a dear, close friend to me. At Patience Cup, I love you.
Patience is on here. Hey, Patience.
Hey, baby. She was actually a friend of my husband's in high school. So it's one of those things that, everybody sits there and they go, oh, MLM, network marketing and stuff like that. But if she didn't reach out to me, I don't know if I would have been able to make those changes. So I don't want anybody ever to sit there and say, hey, you know what? You're spamming your friends or you're spamming your family. I don't care, because, if there's one family member, there's one friend out there, there's one wife, there's one husband that needs you. And if you can change one person's life and give one person the satisfaction of just being their bubbly self and their personality again, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. All the other hate mails don't really care. But everybody says, pyramid skin. I say network marketing, and I do that no matter what, because I'm networking when I go to the beauty salon. I want to know who they go get their nails cut from. I want to go to the, makeup. I want to know where they get their makeup from.
Everybody network market. Everybody does it.
Everybody
pays for it. That's it. Like, if you watch a good movie, you tell your friends. You eat a good meal, you tell your friends. You take something good that helps you, makes you feel good, you tell your friends. That's all we do. We just get paid for it.
Get paid for it.
So you have a lot, like, I shared your pictures the other day, and it's just like, wow. How much have you lost? Like, I don't want to focus on that too much, because everyone's journeys are different. But I'm curious, because your results are crazy.
My results are crazy. Okay, I started at 325. I've lost 125 pounds. Okay, that's where you go into. Now, when I first started, I have patients tell me, go out there and get you a measuring tape. I went and got a measuring tape, got one from the Dollar General. They're all 60 inches. I don't care. I couldn't fit around that measuring tape. I could not fit around that measuring tape. So I had to get a piece of string and measure it. Okay. So when I did that, I think when I added it up, I was like 75 inches round is what it was at my biggest spot. And my biggest spot is I'm sorry, guys, I'm on the floor, but my biggest spot is my hips areas right here. It's where I carry my belly apron. It's, this is pouch. But the truth is that was one of those things that I noticed with the supplements is that the inches, my face started getting smaller, my hands started getting small. Oh my God, my feet, guys, when you're walking around with that much weight on you and you're carrying all that weight on your feet and your ankles, it hurt my feet to walk. It hurt all that stuff. So when I noticed that first month, y'all hate me when I say this. I know you do, but I did not lose one stinking pound that first month when I joined. I didn't lose a pound.
Well, I love that.
But
I mean, some people may hate that, but I love that because you hung in there anyways. And sometimes it's hard for people to understand that they need to hang in there sometimes. Like maybe your body does need more time. So what kept you hanging in there after that first month?
It was my feet. It was my feet because my feet were not swelled up so much. I dropped two pant sizes that first month. I was walking and I worked for a doctor's office. I was walking into my doctor's office and literally I could not keep my scrubs up. They were falling. I had to actually go in there and take some pins and I was stapling my scrubs because, that's what I was doing just to keep them up. And I was thinking, you know what? I am able to walk all day. I am able to, adjust my pants, but I was able to do this stuff. And I was like, even if it doesn't lose any weight, that benefit alone, just being able to, when you're a nurse, I'm not a nurse. But when you have to stand on your feet all day, that is major. And that alone got me to order the next month's supply. Now, the next month I did drop, I think it was this is where it goes into. It was probably about 10 to 15 pounds, but I lost 15 pounds. And then the next week I woke up and I was like, what? Why did 5 pounds go on? Because I started my period. I am PCOS and I don't have a period every single month. I started my period on the next month. I know when, I'm sorry, men, but you're on here, you get what you get. So.
And that's what I'll tell them. Listen, if you ain't comfortable with it, just hold your ears for a minute because these ladies need to know.
Yes, it's the truth though. I mean, when you sit there, so I did have a little bit of water weight. So the next month, so the third month, I lost that once I went off my menstrual cycle. I lost that really good too. But that second month, I didn't lose any inches at all. And I was disappointed because, when you sit there and you think about it, nobody's going to ask you how much you weigh unless you're on a weight loss journey and they're like, what you weigh? Nobody does that. They don't do that. But what they do notice is that your clothes is getting smaller. They do notice that your pictures are getting better, that that you're just doing more. And those inches are way more important than anything in my opinion. It really is, because I would sit there and much rather go back to that first month where I lost all those inches than that second month where I lost all that pounds. And I didn't actually lose anything because my weight, just kind of stayed the same. The third month, I did both. The third month, I lost inches and pounds. And, when you're on the weight loss journey, as long as what I am, there is a lot of, there's still, I'm 47, guys. I'm not no spring chicken. So I have a lot of medical issues. I've gone through some struggles and some issues where I've had to be on steroids, where I have a brain condition. So there's a lot of things that empower and that go into this. So are there months that I don't lose at all? There is. There's probably about 2 or 3 months that I can go where I'm not losing anything because I'm having to do some heavy steroids or I'm having to do some heavy treatment and stuff like that. But what I didn't do is I didn't gain 1 pound. And if you're not gaining, then you've got a chance to keep losing. And that's the biggest key right there. You know, people get stuck and they'll sit there and they'll say, oh, it's not working. It's not working because the pounds aren't coming off. But the truth is, did you gain? Because if you weren't on the supplements, how much? Nobody, when they're on a weight loss journey, sits there and when they're starting to get heavy, they're not on that scale. They're not on that scale at all. They are avoiding it like it's the plague, like it's a pandemic in the closet. But you go on a weight loss journey, you immediately, you buy that scale, you put it front and center. You are obsessed with that scale. That scale is your life. And why? You know, if you've got, so that's where I think so many diets and so many of those fad things don't work out, is because we do not focus on the whole journey. And it is a whole atmosphere of things and that play into it. You know, it is, are you eating less? If you're eating less, then there you go. What do they all say? Calories in, calories out. If you're eating less, you're going to lose weight. If you're drinking more water and you're flushing your system, your body is going to work better. Your mental clarity is going to come back. Your focus is going to come back. So all of those come into play and they work for you. With PCOS, there's so many people out there that are either misdiagnosed or overdiagnosed and they just lose help. I honestly, Karen, I had a doctor tell me one time that my only option is either lipband, gastric bypass, or liposuction. Those were my options. That's what they said. They said your body just don't work right. Why wasn't natural supplements ever in play? Why didn't they ever say, Shelly, you know what?
They're
Let's just
not,
put
I
some
don't
minerals
believe
in your
they're
body.
educated on that.
You know,
Because, I mean, it's just crazy.
it's insane.
I know. For me, I thought that my only option was surgery when I started because I had tried everything. And you know how you said you were doing the medical and then gained it all back. I kind of was in the same situation. I just had a baby, had knee surgery, and I always took Adipex to lose weight. So I had done Adipex, and then I had to come off of the Adipex. So the weight was just piling on really fast, and it's like the same with me. So when I started the supplements, and I did lose at first, and it has been a slow process for me. But the thing is that before that, I was gaining weight at a very fast rate. The scale would not move down for me. It was always going up. And then with this, I lose weight some months. I do really good sometimes. I have health issues and things too. I have some months where I don't lose, but I'm not gaining. I'm not gaining like I was, you know? So
and that's especially when you got to remember, when you get into these situations, when you're a big girl or when you've struggled with weight or these things your whole life, or even like, you know, I always go back to, I'm from poverty. I didn't grow up a rich person. So, you know, so food, when you got food on your plate, you ate your food, no matter what it was. It wasn't, you know, child portion size. It was, you got it, you eat it, and you do it. So I have when I first started, that was one of my, I think my hardest realization is the unhealthy relationship that I had with food. And I was a binge eater. I'd wake up at 3:00 in the morning and just go into my icebox and just see what I can eat, if it was cake, if it was salty, or what it was. That was one of my struggles that, you know, I don't know where that goes into. But I had a realization from a friend about 2 weeks ago, and she sat there and she said something to me. She said, we get so wrapped up in finishing our plate that we don't allow ourselves to sit there and say, it's okay not to finish it, you know, and to push it away. You know, especially when you have like those food addiction problems and stuff like that, that you don't want to leave any food on your plate, because you always thought it was disrespectful for your grandma to do that. But it's okay to sit down and ask grandma to go plate home. It's okay, grandma, you know what? I'm full, and it's okay for me to just take that food home and eat it later for lunch or something like that. That's okay. But that unhealthy part in our brain to think that we've got to fill all of that. And that's one of the first things I noticed with the supplements, is that I am not one that ever got full. I can't, when they sit there and, and said, Shelly, you got to do the gastric bypass. I worked for a doctor's office. I seen the side effects, what it does to your immune system. Not knocking it if you've had it done, but I know that in my mind, I kept thinking to myself, is that Shelly, you don't ever get full. You don't have that full sensation. You never, even when I was on those Dr. Regular ones, I didn't get a full sensation. I just wasn't hungry at all. So there was a big difference. If I started eating, I could eat, and 5 minutes later I could eat again. I just went on those. What they did is they just speeded me up so much that I wasn't hungry at all. These, I don't get the energy like I got with those. I have to admit, I don't. This is like more like taking, like I drink a cup of coffee and it lasts me for 4 hours. So it's a natural, just, I don't even think about it. I'm just feeling good energy. But when I sit down to eat, I get full and I don't want to eat my whole plate, and I don't want to. Sometimes I'm sitting there saying, Shelly, you need this much protein. You're going to get it in you, and even if I take apart my wrap and I just eat my protein, that's what I do, and half the time that's what I'm doing is that's where it is. If you can get to the point and that your stomach shrinks, you will get full. And, and that was hard for me at first. That was hard just for me realizing that I don't have to finish my whole plate, that I can push it away. And it's okay. I'm not disrespecting anybody. It's not like I'm throwing the food in the trash. I'll take it home. I'll eat it for lunch. I love meal prepping. I need a lunch for tomorrow. I need to eat.
Love having leftovers.
Yes. They're better the next day.
Definitely. So we have a few comments. Not really any questions, but I did want to let you know, Lynn and Sean and Patient, Rachel Smith, all of them are on and said, hey guys, Jessica McKinney, Heather Cross, Laura. One of my friends said she resonates with your story so much, especially the parenting, how weight really changes you. Being out of alignment with your true self is truly miserable. Yeah, totally get that. No leftovers. Do we love the leftovers? If I ain't got to figure out lunch for the next day, that's a win.
Right. If I don't have to, or even if I have enough, so like, I can make a big old pot of chili and you've got that 3 days later, man, that's perfect. That's bomb. That's like all on it. I am one of those ones too, Karen. I've got to tell you right now, is I hate to exercise. I don't like sweat on me. You kill it, girl. You like rock it. But like if I get like a little smelly, I'm just like, oh, I'm so sticky. I don't know what to do. So that's one of the key things with me too, is I get my 10,000 steps in a day. So if anybody wants some pointers, your 10,000 steps is a must do. I don't care if you're signing up for the program or if you're not signing up for the program. Just track that on your phone. And I do little challenges. I do a challenge a month, and that's how I do it. So if it's a squat challenge, and I've seen y'all rocking y'all's chairs challenge, or your wall set challenge, and your plank challenges, all of those right there. I'm going to tell you, just doing little challenges out like that, adding them to your walking, and that's gonna just gonna layer on success. Just layer on success. Yeah. You don't have to overwhelm yourself to succeed. What you've got to do is you got to get off of the nay boat. You've got to get off of that boat. I'm not no nay here. No. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take in that positivity, and if I find something I don't like that day, that's okay. I'm gonna find something that I do like, and that's what, Shelly, you know what, you did have nachos last night for dinner. For dinner. I did. But you know what? I'm okay with that.
Listen, okay. Yesterday was so crazy. We had the new product launch. And like my day was just so crazy. Trying to, we want to get up and tell everyone about it. So we ordered Chinese for dinner last night. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to eat.
It's like coma walking, like you just walking.
I mean, because I have been making home cooked meals every day. We've been eating healthy. So this one night of Chinese takeout is not going to kill us, because it's not what you do occasionally. It's what you do consistently.
That's right.
That's what gives you the result.
And that's the key, is that this is, if you are on a strict diet where you have to do A, B, C, D, start again, A, B, C, D, you're going to fail, because there's always an F over there. And that's what it is. There's always that F just lingering around. So you can't do that. You have to be able to incorporate what you're doing in your lifestyle. And that's where these supplements are not going to be one of those things that, hey, do I have to be on life? I can't say you do or if you don't. But what I can say is that my body needs minerals that the foods no longer have. Our ground is so full of pesticides, and we're so much hot boxing these tomatoes just to get them plump. They're not the same nutrition that we had when our grandmas grew up, that we had then, So just taking these supplements, can I say that, that you're going to need them? I'm going to say that my body needs them. I'm going to say that my body needs minerals. My body needs these to function correctly, and that's okay. That is okay. So will I be on a regiment like this for life? For life. I will,
And I ain't mad about it.
I'm not, no, and I'm not going to make any excuses about it
Quality
either.
of life is so much better with them.
So much. I mean, it just goes even down to, I am so blessed even that the company even went into the CBD patches of it, because the CBD, guys, you know what we don't realize is how much of a mental game that we play on ourselves as mothers, and when you're sitting there and you're saying anxiety, stress, go to the doctor. They'll sit there and they'll say, oh, honey, you're just stressed. What can they do about it? Nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing about it but tell you to control it. How are you gonna control stress? I don't know.
Or they'll give you a good old prescription that'll make you a zombie.
A zombie, and you can't function with your kids, zombie fat, thing. So, there's just, but those help me during, and I tell everybody when I sit there, and like my brother will sit there and say, Shelly, man, I need, he'll come over and he'll say, I need a patch for my, he's got a slip disc and stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay. And I'll slap it on there and I'll just laughing. And he's like, what? And I said, it's not helping that part. All it's doing is helping your stress calm down, so your stuff is not so tight, that you're just relaxing, and that's why it's making it feel better. But
I have a pinched nerve, and I had some ruptured disc in my back and my sciatic nerve. Sciatica pretty often, especially after, I like to work out, especially if I do something with a lot of back when I'm working out. And what happens is my sciatic nerve gets inflamed. And for me, normally I would have to go get a steroid shot to get that sciatic nerve to calm down. But CBD is an amazing, what's the word that I'm looking for now?
Inflammation. It will help
for inflammation. Yeah. So when it helps calm that nerve from being inflamed, I can go from curled up, only being able to lay in one position in pretty excruciating pain, to able to get up and move around and clean, touch my toes, from that patch, from CBD, something natural from earth. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have to go get steroid shots with all those nasty side effects. I hated getting steroid shots.
Yeah, then you get the steroid flare up, and then you got help, and then then you're like 10 days.
And I always get crazy
and
stuff
all this
with it,
water
like
weight, because
acne and all kinds of weird side effects from getting steroids.
Yes. So that was really that all of that is just major, that we're on the right track. We have over 98 products. That's just like when I sit there and people will say, Shelly, what do you do for this? I'm going to say, a lot of my customers come to me not just for weight loss. And that's a key, guys, is that I'm in health and wellness. We're in health and wellness. There's a mineral out there that will help you no matter what. And our company has so many products and so many ranges that I can actually do that. It's just like, it's turned into where it was a family function where I was like, oh my God, I've addressed all my family. Now they're coming up to me and they're asking me, Shelly, this is going on. What do you suggest? How do you can help? And it's really hard to stump me. It's really hard to stump me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like Mama Bird. I can say, well, we're going to do this, and this,
That's me. If I ain't got a patch for it, I got an oil for it or something. We got something.
That's how you need some deodorant. I've got some natural stuff going on. I've got it no matter what. You need some skincare. We've got it. And that's what I love about this company, is that it's such a wide range, and it's
Since
so.
you're speaking about the products that we have, one thing I did want to address real quick while we're on here, the business. So whenever you joined, this was obviously for the health benefits.
Yes.
But what made you decide to turn this into a business, a side hustle, to be able to provide for you and your family? What made you take that flip?
I worked for the same doctor's office for 10 years. And at that point I was already kind of sharing the products, and people would walk in and they say, "What are you doing?" And I'd be just like, "Well, this is what I'm doing. Let me send it over to you." And so at that point, so when she decided that she was going to retire, I had to make a choice. I am very stubborn, Karen. I am like one of those people that is like very when I say that, like, did we have an office manager? It was her husband, and we did have him, but I was the office manager because I give myself titles all by itself. So I know
Leadership skills.
Yes, I know. I'm not lie. I'm like one of those people that, no matter what, I walk in the room and I absorb it all. Like so it's hard for me to go in and do a 9 to 5 job when I've been in a situation where the doctor valued my opinion, where she valued everything that I stood for, and just my ethics, that she knew that I knew that personally it was going to be hard for me to go back into the workforce and go to 9 to 5 and not be able to voice my opinion or voice my things when I needed to. I've seen, working in a doctor's office, that people come in, and that's how drug reps work. They just come in and they introduce themselves. This is what I do. So I already knew that being a representative for a company like True Vision was going to be simple for me, because I can talk to anybody and everybody. So it is one of those things that is just like, "Hey, Shelly, can you share this product with enough people that can give you a decent income?" And I could. And that's where it goes into. So when I did that, now I'm not gonna lie, I did that probably for the first 6 months. And then I got into crafting majorly, like majorly crafting. Okay. So then I go in and I'm at the local Dollar Tree, and somebody quit, and I was just like, I could do that job. And the manager's like, "Shelly, you could do it," because I've already talked to everybody in the store anyway. So they all know this. Like, so I go in there and I work 3 days a week at the Dollar Tree doing the cashier, not because I need the job, but because I want the interaction with people. I like to craft. It literally, it comes to me on this little card that my paycheck does. My husband, nobody ever sees that money but me in my craft studio, but what it does is it gives me out into the public, and it makes me actually be able to talk to people and address people, and it makes me happy. I'm in a situation in my life right now that I don't control. My work doesn't control me. I control my work. I control where my flow goes. I control where I am doing and what my energy goes into. And even though everybody just laughs because they're Shelly, you're way qualified, way more qualified, because, to do, I'm certified an optician and contact lenses, optical technique, I'm certified in all these things. And what are you doing over here? I'm like, "God, y'all don't understand. With my Truvy job, I'm making more money than I did working at the doctor's office. And I'm obviously making more money than at the Dollar Tree, but I don't have to put any of my True Vision money into my crafting because I work there 3 days a week. And
Yes.
4 hours a day. It's not that bad, but I do that because I love
No,
it.
I get it, because I've thought about, especially with the move, I'm like, I need to get out and make some friends. Maybe I can get like a little day job. And then I'm like, no, they won't like me, because all it's gotta be is one pretty day. And I'm like, I'm not clocking in. I make too much money at home.
Well, that's what's so funny, is because they'll come up to me, and especially because everybody loves me there, and they'll I say everybody loves me there because I just feel like I'm loved. And they'll ask me, "Shelly, do you want to be a manager?" I was like, "No, I want to clock in, clock out, and that's it. That's it. That's as much as I'm doing here." I said, "But if you need me to set up a craft table over there, I'm going to do it." I love going into nursing homes, and before the pandemic, I used to be able to do that and take my Dollar Tree crafts and can go in there and just share it with everybody. I make these amazing wreaths that we can put little essential oils in, so it brightens their day up. That just fills my heart with joy, and I love doing that
I
stuff,
love
but it
seeing
actually
your
helps me
crafts. You've
share
done
stuff.
some videos too. I love
Yes,
it.
yes.
And I think it's really cool. Like, I mean, did you have time to do that with your job before?
No. When
You
I
know what I
work,
mean? Because I know when I worked full time, y'all rock crafting full time, raising babies, and that's all for that. But like with this opportunity, you get that freedom.
I
You
get
can
that
make
freedom,
money and
those
make
choices.
crafts for your day.
Well, it was one of those things that I get to, not only that, but like I said, I like to take control. When you're sitting there and you got kids and you get up and get into school and you go from your 9 to, and and I work from 9 to 6. So by the time I got home, it was 7. I'm already eating bad because now it's here and I'm rushing around the house. I feel like by the time I sat down, it was just time to sleep. So I was a walking zombie all the time because I was just getting up and doing the same routine over and over and over again. This actually, what this does is this really makes me feel like I'm living the American dream. I feel like I'm in control of everything that I do. And if I don't like this day, or if I don't like this way, now I am still reliable as an employee. Not but I am. When I come to work, and I'm very happy. I'm very very into it. I get my crafts done. I get to do things that I didn't get to do in my old 9 to 5 job, and I didn't even realize how much I loved and how much this was good for my mental parts until I started doing that, and I got that break to actually do that. That's what True Vision has Truvy, I'm sorry, has gave me the opportunity in so many ways, not only to take my health back, but it is really gave me my voice and my shine back, just in a human, just being a human, just being the person that I really wanted to be.
I feel that, girl. Same for me. I love it. I'm so glad you hopped on here with me today.
I'm so
I
happy.
appreciate you so much. And you're so fun. I'm sure everybody loved you. We have a ton of comments. Just people reacting, not overreacting. See, I'm on the same time, girl. But I just want to make sure we don't have any questions before we hop off. I see Lynn and Sean, Liz, Heather, but I don't see any questions. All right.
Let me see if I can log mine real quick, which I think I don't even know if I shared them. I did not. So we're fine. It was all on yours. But I'll grab yours later and share it, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. And thank you for hopping on, Shelly. You rock, girl. I love y'all. And I hope everybody has an awesome weekend.
Thank you, guys. Love you.